good evening and welcome to Real Late with Kate, bringing you the very latest movie news and reviews from Planet Film. Tonight we review the two big new releases of the week, Ashton Kutcher and Katherine Heigl in their latest action rom-com Killers.
Wow, that felt really good.
Bravo.
Our guest reviewer is the man who gets the most sex on Outrageous Fortune, Antony Starr. He casts his critical eye over the next instalment of the Swedish Millennium trilogy, The Girl Who Played with Fire.
There's this lesbian sex scene,
which went on and on and on.
Why?
We're also behind the scenes and on location in China with Jaden Smith and the entire Smith clan as they shoot The Karate Kid.
I got my eye on you, Jackie Chan.
But first, the big news this week, crazed movie fans and a ton of stars descend on San Diego's Comic-Con for a sneak peek at some big upcoming releases. The annual pop culture convention attracted the usual array of freaks and geeks, keen to lap up early footage from highly anticipated films. They weren't disappointed. The stars of Tron Legacy wowed the high-tech crowd with new 3D footage of the new sequel.
What am I supposed to do?
Fans also got a first look at Ryan Reynolds as the Green Lantern. Remember, Taika Waititi's in this, and it's directed by fellow Kiwi Martin Campbell.
It's my first superhero movie. I've never done one before, unless you count James Bond as a superhero.
There are two other films everyone's talking about from Comic-Con this year. Vampire flick Let Me In, the remake of the already brilliant Swedish film Let the Right One In, has great early hype. And Brit director Edgar Wright had sneak screenings of his new movie, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. The Girl Who Played with Fire. It's number 2 in the Millennium trilogy. Still to come, The Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest. The first of these films, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, did incredibly well at the box office here, and despite the fact it's got subtitles, even the Americans quite liked it. Here, our heroine, Lisbeth Salander, is the main focus of the story, as she stands accused of triple murder. She's drawn back into her murky past and into an increasingly tangled web of intrigue, as Michael Blomkvist does everything he can to prove her innocence. With us now, with his take on the sequel, I'm joined by the twins. Ant Starr, thanks so much for joining us.
That's okay. The twins, Ant Starr now. Just the guy in the middle.
We're a fan of this trilogy, aren't we?
We are a fan. I haven't read the books, but I did see the first film and loved it. You got a sense that there was much more to come. You know, there was a lot of things that I looked at knowing that it was part of a trilogy and that I thought at first, oh, that's unnecessary. You know, some of the more sordid stuff, like the rape scene and things like that.
I mean, it's R18 here.
It is. We're in the land of adults, right? But I didn't really see the relevance of some of it. But then in the back of your mind, of course, you're going, okay, trilogy. This is part 1 of 3, right?
Om du någonsin rör mig igen så kommer jag döda dig. Är det förstått?
Two important things to note is that we have a new director and new writers for the next 2. I think they even shot them literally bang on one after the other.
Okay.
And I, for one, really saw a change with the second film. I don't know about you.
This, on its own, in its own right, didn't deliver for me in numerous ways. But the Lisbeth character was fantastic. Borderline, almost comic book character, and she can do anything.
Well, what? She's got a photographic memory.
Great computers, photographic memory. Apparently she's a boxer. You know, there's not a lot she can't do. Rides
she can
motorbikes.
kick some serious ass,
She can seriously kick ass.
Jag kommer komma fram med bevis. Jag kommer komma fram med alternativ mördare samtidigt ska jag skriva en artikel som du och dina kollegor kommer tycka är jävligt jobbig att läsa.
Michael Nyqvist, he's not off the pace, but I think without her in frame so much, he's on his own a bit more and he seems a little bit more bland. They're fantastic characters and you saw the energy when they were together in the first one. And it's a shame that they needed to maintain that in order to even though they're separated, there's still a connection.
Du tror också att hon är skyldig? Jag säger ingenting. Hon ligger rätt risigt till den så. Hon ligger jävligt risigt.
Some of the material that they've chosen to deal with, you know, it is heavy.
Yeah.
There was trepidation almost about going to those dark places comfortably. Almost as if to make up for that. There's this lesbian sex scene, which
went on and on and on.
Why?
Yeah.
Why? And look, I'm comfortable with sex scenes, that's fine. But they've got to be for a reason. They've got to serve the story. And if there's no need, And the way that they shot it, you know, you probably get people turning around saying that, you know, it looked beautiful and it was slightly silhouetted and all this, but I can't see what's going on. I can't see. I want to be in here if there's something going on. I want to know what's going on for the characters and why this is happening.
For me, Dragon Tattoo was great. This one really did take it down a couple of notches. It just didn't have the grip for me, and it makes me feel nervous about the third one, given it's exactly the same people directing and writing it. So I think it's only going to just scrape in with 3 stars for me.
I have to say, I think you're being quite generous.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. People in glass houses, right?
No.
Here we go.
It's all about
Here I go.
Go for it.
In saying that, you know, I think 2.5. I'll give it
2.5. That's almost a pass. Of course, none of you out there give a flying toss what either of us say, because if you love the books and if you love Dragon Tattoo, you're going to go and see it for yourself anyway.
Absolutely. And you know what, I would say go and see it for yourself.
Now let's find out what audiences thought.
It was brilliant. It was kind of gritty and entertaining and kind of twists and turns the way out, but it was excellent.
4 out of 5.
It was quite engaging and it had a lot of suspense in it, and just as good as the first one.
Coming right up, an exclusive one-on-one with the legendary Jackie Chan.
Let's move it together. Yeah. Then somehow turn around, you did call me.
And I review the latest action rom-com, Killers.
Surprise! I'm back!
Welcome back to Real Late with Kate. The latest kids kick-ass action flick to hit our screens has been The Karate Kid, which has the local box office in a bit of a flat, doing very well. They shot most of this film in China and at some pretty amazing locations. We go behind the scenes for an insider look. I'd imagine there are very few of us who didn't hold The Karate Kid close to our teenage hearts way back in 1984.
Wax on. Wax off.
A classic coming-of-age tale about a bullied boy finding his feet thanks to a rather eccentric father figure teaching him the ways of the world through martial arts.
Man who catch fly with chopstick accomplish anything.
I thought you were just a maintenance man. Nice.
26 years later, The Karate Kid is back. The film is not, by any means, a scene-by-scene remake, but it does pay homage to the original, like this rehash on the classic fly-catching scene. Jaden Smith surely must be the envy of all his schoolmates. He's got a rich dad, Will Smith, and a good-looking mum, Jada Pinkett Smith. And now, of course, he's a little star in his own right.
Focus! I get it. You're Yoda and I'm like a Jedi. Miss Han?
Your focus needs more focus.
Jaden landed the lead role, surely nepotism at its best. After all, his parents are the producers of the film.
I got my eye on you, Jackie Chan.
And it must be rather nice to have Mum on set every day for a reassuring cuddle. Even luckier for young Jaden as he gets to work with movie legend Jackie Chan, who plays Mr. Han.
He is amazing. Every time that he would come in, he would say good morning in a different language. He would teach like the crew members things. He was like teaching me things about how to stretch correctly and how to like be in the scene correctly. And he would always tell me, okay, yeah, you need to focus, you know.
Chan has, of course, worked with thousands of actors over his long and illustrious career. He says he found young Jaden to be one of the most motivated young actors he's come across.
I can tell Jaden, he want to be his father. He want to be Jackie Chan. He want to be a movie star. He want to be a famous.
Jackie, when we last spoke, you said you really wanted more serious roles. You said that Robert De Niro is your hero, and this role seems made for you.
Yes, I think really lucky. I picked up the good script, and thank you, Will Smith. He kept his promise, because when we're in the Japanese restaurant, we get a hug. Oh, we make a movie together. Yeah. I thought it's every Hollywood star like that. Yeah. Bruce Willis and Stallone. Let's move it together. Yeah. Then somehow turn around, he did call me.
One of the great things about this Karate Kid is that much of it is filmed on location in Beijing in China. This isn't something we see very often, if at all, in Hollywood blockbusters.
You can't beat the energy and the power which a place brings. You just can't beat it. You can't create that. You can't recreate it. You know, it is what it is. It's its own special thing. So, and for the movie itself, it gives it a very authentic texture, you know, that's not accessible to everyone.
It really is an honor to me. They choose China and Beijing becoming a location. It really shows China culture, location, the food, everything. Because still a lot of people misunderstand China. Mostly people, they don't want to hear the good things, they all want to hear the bad things. China is different now.
Remember, always strong.
If you haven't managed to catch it yet, Karate Kid is still in Kiwi cinemas. No question, Jackie Chan is the man when it comes to kung fu movies. So we decided our Real Late with Kate top 8 should be your Facebook choices for most memorable martial arts movies. You loved Way of the Dragon, Forbidden Kingdom and Kill Bill also got a big nod. Here's the rest of your favourites. At number 5, Tony Jaa's crazy stunts and bone-crunching Muay Thai in Ong Bak. At 4, Donnie Yen's brutal Wing Chun in Ip Man. Bruce Lee, the timeless classic Enter the Dragon at number 3. Number 2, Jet Li's astonishing skills in Fist of Legend. And number 1, the legend of the drunken master, Jackie Chan. Off the back of the popularity of Grey's Anatomy, actress Katherine Heigl continues to get offered big screen roles. And she has some help. Obviously a big fan is director Robert Luketic, who cast her in The Ugly Truth. He's done so again in his latest film. It's an action one, it's called Killers, and Ashton Kutcher goes along for the ride.
Bonjour.
Katherine Heigl is Jen Kornfeld, recently split from some bloke who clearly wasn't a family favourite and who heads to the south of France with her mum and dad for some R&R. There, she immediately meets the perfect man.
I don't speak French. Je ne parle pas.
No, I got it the first time.
Certainly from the waist up, we have to agree anyway.
I'm Spencer, by the way.
Jennifer, sometimes Jenny. No, Jen. It's just Jen.
Ashton Kutcher is Spencer. He's in consulting and he sweeps out Jen off her feet. Her dad, he's not so sure, but the pair marries regardless, and we leapfrog 3 years ahead to find them in the heady domestic bliss they both seem to be embracing.
Surprise! I'm back!
Then one day, Spencer's past catches up with him. He was a government hitman for hire after all. Suddenly, Jen finds that her life has been upended and she's faced with the fact that darling hubby isn't exactly the suburban homebody she thought he was.
Who do you work for?
Let's just say that I work for the blah, 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 and they gave me a license to blah.
Suddenly, everyone's out to get them, which is where the action part of this action comedy starts to kick in.
Stop it! It's not shooting, honey. Oh, God!
It's gonna be a long day.
So is this Mr. and Mrs. Smith for the poor man? Well, you be the judge.
Wow, that felt really good.
On a positive note, I have been in love with Tom Selleck and that moustache for so long now, it's embarrassing. To see him on the big screen, even in a rubbish movie, made me feel all warm and fuzzy inside.
I am confident that you'll never hurt her.
It's a nice shot.
Thank you. I was an Eagle Scout.
They really let you shoot stuff in the Boy Scouts?
He's nicely cast as Jen's dad, Mr. Kornfeld, and he doesn't let the side down. No great challenge there, though, I have to say.
Hi, Jen.
Sweetie, I don't think she was a killer.
Oh, I know.
The interminable silliness of it all and the total lack of character and story credibility was astonishing and eventually just plain boring. You could see every single plot twist coming from the lobby and it was never worth waiting for when it did.
Trust me, it's boring.
This could well be one of those occasions where the box office and me kind of part ways. Ashton Kutcher and Katherine Heigl, they do have a big popularity and that may be enough to get punters through the door. Just didn't do it for me, I'm afraid. L for lame, 1 star. To the hot movie ticket of the week now, and it's The Girl Who Played with Fire. Tonight, you heard what we reckon. Now you can check it out for yourself. Go see the movie this week at a Rialto or Event Cinema. You can sit back, enjoy the show with a glass of wine for just $20. Plus, Event is offering a Karate Kid family deal. $38 buys you seats for an adult, 2 kids and 2 small combos. And finally, my nieces are beside themselves with excitement with the arrival of Tinkerbell and the Great Fairy Rescue next Friday. There are 10 family passes to give away online. Go to www.eventcinemas.co.nz for what's on at the movies. Don't move a muscle. After the break, I am the lucky girl who gets to natter to Kiwi actor Antony Starr, who reveals how he doubles the trouble on Outrageous Fortune.
Suck a lemon and stick something up your butt.
Welcome back to Real Late with Kate, where I get all the best jobs, like chatting to the outrageously talented Antony Starr. Kiwi actor Antony Starr has the perfect surname. You've never heard that before, have you?
No,
movie star Antony Starr.
Amazing.
I wanted to be the first person to make that correlation. Amazing. Outrageous Fortune has been a ridiculous, runaway, fantastic and incredibly deserved success on the small screen. I want to know the biggest challenge for you playing, you're not playing just one guy, you're playing brothers, they're twins. What are the biggest challenges in bringing that to the screen?
Initially, it was really making sure that the characters had a good separation and that they were two three-dimensional people.
How do I owe you?
The thing with the asshole lawyer. I did that for you.
Was there any kind of one thing that you would have to get into your mind, like one thing that would click, one minute you're Van, the next minute you're Jethro? Is there any kind of...
Yeah, if it was Van, just empty mind and blank. And then if it was Jethro, suck a lemon. Suck a lemon and stick something up your butt.
You never make this stick, Sergeant.
Was it so Jethro?
Do we have that kind of culture in New Zealand? I often see, if you're out late at night at a pub or something, there'll be All Blacks out there having a couple of drinks, and they are harassed. People are just so in your face. You're Antony Starr. I mean, how do you...
That can be challenging, but to be honest, I'm a bit of a nerd. And yeah, I'm quite happy to stay at home, to be honest. I like watching movies and reading books, bit of a geek, and I'd rather have people over to my house than go out. Basically, my private life is my private life and my job is my job, and I don't feel the need to marry the two.
You've got After the Waterfall about to hit the big screen, part of the festival. Tell us very quickly what it's about.
Basically, it's about a guy that loses everything and has to find a way to move forward. It's a shy little film, it's a gentle little film, it's not a massively plot-driven piece, it's very much character-based, and I think it's a really nice story of hope, and strength of spirit. A lot of bad things happen to this guy, and it's, when the chips are all down, how do you function, and how does the spirit move forward, and how does someone go from being effectively off to living again,
Now, this is one thing, working in New Zealand on television and on the big screen. Any efforts to sort of beyond the borders and head across to the big bright lights of Hollywood?
New Zealand is, it's quite a small market, so inevitably, if you want to catch fish, you've got to cast a few nets, and looking overseas at some point, definitely. And New Zealand's great. I will always call this place home and always want to be based here.
We are on our way. We're in the final series of Outrageous Fortune.
We'll never say never. There's no official word yet, so we'll wait and see.
We will wait and see. Can't wait to see the rest of this episode. Also, we've got After the Waterfall at the festival, people, around the country, so keep an eye out for it. Yep. And also, it will be coming back on general release. We don't have a release date yet, but it'll be a little bit later in the year. Thank you so much for coming on Real Late with Kate. You're a star. Thanks. Let's count down the week's top 10 movies at the New Zealand box office. At number 10 this week, The Last Station. Watching the stage on screen, the National Theatre's performance of London Assurance at number 9. At 8, Adrian Brody, Michelle Rodriguez, Predators. It's had just a few sneak screenings, but The Girl Who Played with Fire is already at number 7. Shrek Forever After, number 6. The Karate Kid drops back to number 5. The Twilight Saga Eclipse in 4th spot. Toy Story 3 at 3. Night and Day holds on to 2nd place. Number 1, no surprise, yep, it's Inception.
I have it under control. I'd hate to see out of control.
Prize time and a chance to treat the family to a movie. Mercury Energy, together with Event Cinemas, has launched a movie club where you can get exclusive deals and discounts and prizes on blockbuster movies. Check it out on www.mercurymovieclub.co.nz. Now you can go into the draw to score your family gold class tickets. All you have to do is answer this one question. Name the actor who played the original Karate Kid. Text your answer and your email address to 316. Coming up next week, high energy street dancing steps up and an eye-popping 3D. We meet the latest grumpy old vigilante, Michael Caine, and we're behind the scenes of the mind-blowing blockbuster Inception. Thanks for joining me on Real Late with Kate. Tonight we leave you with the compelling Gordon Gekko in the Wall Street sequel, Money Never Sleeps. Will greed still be as good?
One silk handkerchief, one watch, one ring, one gold money clip with no money in it, and one mobile phone.
Someone reminded me I once said greed is good. Now it seems it's legal.
No matter how much money you make, Mr. Gekko, you'll never be rich.
Why don't you start calling me Gordon?